I have given the doors and the window frames a light wash of the green stain. After it has dried, I've inserted the windows and door frames into the model, and we'll make some adjustments on the painting of them. This is the east wall. It's well weathered, and these door frames look pretty good. They seem to match the weathering fairly well. This is the south wall. It's also fairly heavily weathered, and the window frames in this case look like they're about the same as the wall. This is the front, and there's a porch that sticks out, so the paint is going to be protected under that, on that portion of the roof. This area, which is exposed to the sun and wind and rain, is a little bit lightly weathered. I need to darken these frames to match the walls. Similarly, on the north wall, I need to darken these windows. I'm going to do that with them in place. Then once they're dry, I'll remove them, keep them in order for final installation. In looking at the model, I really don't like the depth of these boards or the fascias. I think they're way too deep. What I'm going to do is make them thinner by using a 4x4 strip of styrene as a guide, and then trimming the underside of all the boards back to match this strip. I'm using a nice fresh razor blade to do this. I think that this looks much better and in proportion to the size of the structure. I would substitute a 2x4 instead of the 2x6 for the trim boards and the fascia. The next step is to put an interior partition from front to back in the building. To accomplish that, I'm going to use this black mat board and cut it to the appropriate height. I measured my trusses on the back, and I can make the wall partition 8 feet tall. I'll use the underside of the floor to determine how wide I need to make it. I've applied canopy glue to the edges. And now we'll carefully get this into position. Okay, it's now time to assemble the doors. On the rear doors, the door should open toward the exterior walls. And on the front of the building, the doors should open toward the partition. So by placing the knob on the left side, the door would open that proper direction. To bond the door in place, I'm going to use some MEK on a little micro brush and just put some taps into the seam. Tichy windows come with pre-laser etched glazing material. The only difficulty with it is that it tends to be fogged from the etching process. What I'm going to do is use some Pledge floor care and paint the surface. This will remove the fogging on the glazing. This is the glazing material after applying the Future Floor Wax. It has improved the appearance considerably. They're not completely clear, but usually adequate for most modeling purposes. When you trim out the acetate, trim as close to the inner edge of the laser cut as you can. Okay, I've applied a drop of canopy cement to a microbrush, and I'm going to place small amounts of it along the sash opening. I want to spread it out so that it doesn't squeeze out excessively into the window opening. I'm going to place the bottom in and then press the window into place. Now we need to repeat this for the bottom window. That window is glazed. It's smeared into the opening a little bit, but that will dry clear, so I think it'll be fine. We will add some shades to the windows using the shade material provided with the Tichy castings. Okay, the Tichy shade material is wide enough to cover like the upper sash. So if you want to represent windows that have the shades partially open, you'll have to trim back the shade material to the length that you want it. Unfortunately, it isn't long enough to go real far down the window. I'm cutting the shades to slightly different lengths. To attach the shades, we'll use a small drop of canopy cement placed at the top of each window.